Good morning, everyone. I invite you to take a moment to enter into a space of rest, meditation, and quiet contemplation as we enter this service with the ringing of the gong and listen to the prelude. Good morning. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Church. Welcome to everyone here in person and everyone joining us on YouTube. Let's wave. Both now and in the future. I am Jane Steffens. My pronouns are she, her. Our welcome words are from Alex Riley. It is good to be together in this co-created sacred space where all are welcome. How you experience or express gender is welcome here. Who or how you love is welcome here. Where you are from and where you are in your journey is welcome here. Whether you come full of energy or find yourself running on empty, you are welcome here. You are part of a beloved community that is sacred because each of us is sacred. Each of us is always held in a larger love. It is good to be together.
That idea, it's good to be together. Yeah. I am Reverend Darren Utley, pronouns he, him. Cody is going to light the chalice for us today, and I'm going to read some words from Reverend Scott Taylor. We light this flame in a world where so much has grown dark. May it remind us that sparks can always be struck, and very little is inevitable. Most of it is mystery and magnificent surprise, which means new and yet to be imagined worlds always await, which means a door has already swung wide, with possibility waiting on the threshold, ready to pull us through. Our first hymn is 110, Come, Children of Tomorrow.
And now it's time for the message for all ages. So if all the children and those young at heart can come on forward. So this month's theme is embracing possibilities, things that are possible. And this book is about a child that is taking things and figuring out what's possible, not only with something that they're making, but with friends. So it's called Something Great by Jeanette Bradley. Quinn spent the morning in their workshop. Finally, they made something that worked. Something great, in fact. Something great could tick-tock. It could orbit around and around and around like the moon. Surprisingly, it could sing. Quinn showed it to their big sister. What's that supposed to be? Have you been playing in the recycling again? They showed it to their mother. That's wonderful, honey. What's it supposed to be? Isis was only interested in the string. Quinn flopped onto the grass. No one understood. Something great wasn't recycling, and it wasn't supposed to be anything. It was just itself. Something great. Quinn noticed that the sun made something great glow with all the colors of the rainbow. Quinn dropped in a stick. Now something great had shadow pictures inside. It hung straight and heavy in Quinn's hand, as straight as... Hi, said a voice from above. What's that? Nothing. Just something I made, said Quinn. Can I try? Asked the new kid. All my stuff is in boxes. Something great could tick-tock even better from up in the tree. This thing is the best. Quinn pulled down on the string and something great went up. When Quinn let go, it came back down. It could be an elevator. Something great could be so many great things. A beat keeper, a bug catcher, or a stick lifter. It might even be a telephone, a friend finder. Everything is possible. Okay, now it's time for the children's blessing. We are blessed. We are blessed by being. We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
There are many ways we give to the life of our church, and the monetary offering is just one of these ways. Each month we partner with a local organization and share the money we collect. Our partner for April is the Racine Urban Garden Network. Since 2009, Racine Urban Garden Network, RUGAN, has been providing the space, tools, and support for people to grow their own food. Rugin has 9 urban gardens throughout the city with a total of 300 plots and is an all-volunteer organization, from the board to garden managers to the youth, church, and community groups that maintain the gardens. The suggested donation per plot is $30 per season and includes access to a shed, tools, and water supply. Rugin can waive this fee for low-income families. Rugin also organizes free workshops on food preservation, organic gardening, and composting, and co-sponsors a free musical festival with Family Power Music in June. More information on how to give can be found on the back of your order of service. Thank you, as always, for your generosity. Part of being in community is sharing our joys and sorrows with one another. We draw strength from celebrating the joys in each other's lives and lending support, comfort, and care when we experience one of life's many sorrows. We offer you 2 different ways to express the joys and sorrows that may be on your heart this morning, spoken and unspoken. If you would like to share a spoken joy or sorrow, I'll ask you to come forward to the microphone first, or you may raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you. Once the spoken joys and sorrows are finished, you may come forward and light a candle to represent the unspoken joy or sorrow that is on your heart. Please remember that our service is being streamed online, so please be sure that any spoken joy or sorrow that you share is one you are comfortable sharing with a wider community than just inside these walls with us this morning. Those that would like to share spoken joys or sorrows may come forward at this time.
This is more a concern than maybe a sorrow, but probably, I guess it's a sorrow as well. Some of you may know that the president of the Islamic Center of Milwaukee was detained by ICE recently and is in an ICE detention center in southern Indiana. So just encouraging everyone to keep that family in your prayers. His name is Salah Sarsour. It's spelled the same as Linda, if you're familiar with, anyway, you might know. Women's March and all. I feel like I'm talking to the right crowd. But Salah, S-A-L-A-H, Sarsour. If you look up free Salah Sarsour, you can find all the information you need about reaching out to your congresspeople, talking to people. So just go and do that. But just want you to keep that in your thoughts and prayers and every other action that you do.
I'm Becky Spica, and I don't often get up here, but I wanted to share a joy that I experienced this past week. My soul cup was filled by following the Artemis II journey. We just needed something bigger than what's been happening. And my new mantra in life is going to be, we will choose Earth, always, and we will choose each other.
If you would like to light a candle for an unspoken joy or sorrow, you may come forward at this time. We light one final candle for the joys and sorrows that are on the hearts of our beloveds joining us online. There is a love holding us always. May we rest in that love. Amen and blessed be. All are invited to join in singing There Is a Love. The words are in your order of service.
I'm going to do some preparation here. So just, I'm moving the stage around. You know what I'm talking about? I should have had some people dressed in black, maybe, but I don't, yeah, I should have taught, no, I'm just. It may seem like it, but I'll be okay. Okay. You can see that all right a little bit? Yeah. Sorry, Olympia. Just going to move you around a little bit. All right. Can't think of anything else to do. I'll just get started. So I wanted to do a couple things today. One, I wanted to just give you a little bit of a report back of our trip to Cuba because I don't know if you all know. I think in the end that Olympia Brown donated $933. Yep, you don't know about the other things. I know what you're thinking. You know what the total was from the sandwiches, but you don't know about the other little things that slipped in. But yes, close to $1,000, let's say that. For our trip, and so first of all, we're just really, really grateful for that, and I wanted to kind of let you know some of the ways that those resources would be used. We took, I think, 5 suitcases in the end of medical supplies, art supplies, solar-powered battery rechargers, all kinds of things down that were well received. So I want to do a little bit of that, but then I also want to talk about embracing possibilities when it comes to thinking about our neighbors, not only just around us, but our neighbors 90 miles off of the coast of Florida or anywhere else our neighbors might be. So that's the plan. So the first picture here is a line of people. The building at the front with the steeple, that is the Central Reformed Presbyterian Church of Matanzas, Cuba. That's the church that's our sister church, and you can see pictures of trips down the hallway as you go to Erman Hall. This is an image of people lining up for purified water. So in Matanzas, or in most of Cuba, a lot of people get water into their house, but it's not purified water. A lot of times the water goes up to the roof, and there's a purification system, and it kind of filters down, but not everybody has that. So the church has a water purification system through a group called Living Waters that does a lot of this kind of water ministry or water help around all different kinds of places. But they're open 2 days a week to give out water. So this is a line forming to get jugs of water to take home to do what you would do with purified water. I will say just a quick kind of note. Since we have blockaded fuel and oil getting to them, you may know that to get water, to pump water to your houses, that it takes electricity to pump water to your house. So there are people that are without water now because it takes a certain sustained amount of electricity to get to the place where the water will get to certain neighborhoods. So if if the power's on for 8 days, but then it's off for 2, or it's on for this long, it takes a sustained amount of time before the water can get there. So there's been these not only interruptions in electricity, but interruptions in water as well. Monument Avenue in Richmond, Virginia, before they took the monuments down. Oops, that's a different story, but we could go back. This is basically what this translates to is crafting. Basically, this group of women get together, and with some of what we brought were some little beads and different things. They make these crafts. If Deb was here, she could show you some of the earrings and things that she got. But they make these crafts, and then they go to little places and sell their craft, like little craft fairs, and sell them. And it's just kind of one of the extra things that they do to support the church and to support the ministries. But a lovely group of women that get together once a week to do that. You can kind of see all their crafts spread out. And then, of course, it's also a time to catch up, talk together, figure out what's going on with each other. So it's a pretty cool thing that they do. This program, another program they do is for some church members and then some community members. It's walking together in the older stage of life, I guess is probably how you would translate this. So it's groups of elders that get together and they do all kinds of programming for them. I don't know if you can kind of see that woman there is a kind of like social worker, well-trained. I think she has like a psychology degree as well, but she comes and talks about different things that you might be relevant for what you're going through, diet, all kinds of issues. So every week she comes, she shares a little bit, then the people do them, and they have. And one thing I'll say: if you ever go to Cuba, be prepared to dance. Whatever meeting happens, at some point there's probably going to be a song played, and you're going to be invited to dance. And if you know the dances, that's helpful. If you don't, usually someone will teach you, but just, you think, even here I am, a bunch of people, some of them came in walkers, and now, it's still gonna happen. The dancing is gonna come up at some point. So this is another program they do. Probably, they have two different programs for young people. One is, this is called the Project Tree of Life. So they have that program, which is just a group of young people from the community. And, this one is both of these. Then they have one called Tree of Life Plus, which is for a bunch of youth in the community that have special needs of all different varieties. And what's amazing about this particular church, in which you guys know this, like sometimes communities come together and like all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have all these people with these unique gifts in this one place. The church secretary is also a professor of special education at the Matanzas University, and one of her other friends comes and volunteers for this program too, who's also a professor of special education. And then they have some of their students that come now, and it's a team of maybe 10 people that come together and work with about 15 kids, but it's the most specialized, like tailored for each student program that you could ever imagine, that just happens to happen inside this church because they have all these people who not only are skilled, but also are incredibly passionate about the project. We were not there the day that this happens, but they intentionally got the team together to share with us about this because they're so passionate about it. And they just had a transition in pastors, and in between that transition, they had to shut the program down because you know what it's like. You don't know what's going to come out at the other side of a transition, so you just kind of put everything on pause. And this group of people were, they told us it was like the worst months of my life. Like they said, if we don't get to do this again, like we don't have a reason to live. So, yeah. And they have their church musician comes and does songs with them, and they have Matanzas is one of the things that Matanzas is known for is puppets. And so like they have a whole big, and it's a weird, whatever. So they have someone who comes and does puppets with them. So that's another cool program. And then every Saturday they feed about 32 people, prepare a hot meal and provide them food. This is some of those people. That's the new minister that's leaning into the picture there. And so one of the things that they said that some of the financial resources would be used for would be buying food for this program because, you all know, even now with gas prices and oil prices going up, all the prices go up, all the food goes up, and then if you've already were in a situation where it was hard to get food and resources, that becomes even more difficult. So that's just a big issue right now is finding food to prepare. They also have a very kind of active young adult program that's kind of all different ages. That's Josh, my son, there in the middle. He gets his rhythm and dancing ability from both me and my wife. So it was unfortunate for him. It was rough. But on multiple occasions he was taught many different dances that, to one degree or another, he learned. He was one of the things that if you go to Cuba right now, people will say about you that you are valiente, so you're courageous for coming at this time. We didn't feel that way at all, but Josh was also given that he was considered quite brave for his willingness to try to dance the dances. So this is just a prayer group that gets together, and then this is just a picture from Easter Sunday from the church. You can kind of see what it looks like there. So yeah, I just want to share some of that with you, and just to let you know that your donations are not just going to help a church, but going to help a whole community, and a whole community that is in desperate need right now. So I know that they send their gratitude and thanks to all of you, and I do too. Let's see how much. Yeah. So now, switching gears. Sure. So I think it was 2015. I think it was through the Living Water program. This is going to keep, sorry. I don't know how to turn it. Yeah. So the Living Water, we had heard, the church had heard about the Living Water program to bring pure water purifiers places, and I can't remember how Cuba came into the mix. I think someone in the church had a friend who was Cuban, and they were like, okay, well, let's go and see if we can find something. And they visited about 3 or 4 different churches down there that were looking to do programs. And they, I think the secret is that the former ministers at this church, one of them did their PhD in Canada, so speaks pretty good English. So I think maybe that was the seller. If you have someone you can actually communicate with, it helped a lot. So that's how they chose that church. Yeah. Any other questions? You probably know what I'm going to say if I get time to do the rest of it anyway, but say that again? Okay, so what did I experience of that part of it? I'll say that, so the church is in the town of Matanzas, about just up the hill. Just up the hill from there is a seminary that's a small Presbyterian Episcopal and Methodist seminary all in one. And over the years, they have installed a lot of solar panels, and they basically have they have a whole farm that they have that provides them a lot of their food and that sort of stuff. And so, as for our daily, staying night and sleeping, we experience basically, if you went to if you stayed at Siena Center, but maybe like an older version, that's kind of like what we experienced there. So we had no real. There was one day that the power, that the gas was out, that they didn't have gas, and this is happening a lot across the country. Is that people have to cook with like basically charcoal or wood. So our breakfast was late because they had to cook it with they had to make the coffee with charcoal. We were not inconvenienced at all, really, by what was going on around, basically just felt bad all the time for how much food they were giving us and how much how kind of we were living a pretty normal life. I will say that the Bay of Matanzas is when you go to the edge of the seminary, you look out over the Bay of Matanzas. And that actually is the deepest water area around the island. So when the oil tanker just came from Russia, it comes right into the port of Matanzas. So we looked out over that bay every morning as we watched the sunrise. So it was kind of interesting to know that we were right there. The power sometimes was not on at the seminary. At the church, but it was not that's really bad in August, if you don't have a room that's air conditioned. But in March, it was very moderate the whole time we were there. I thought I saw one more. Maybe the same question. All right. Okay. Real quickly, I'll just say, the theme. Hi. The theme for this month is embracing possibilities, right? And what's really, really difficult about being in Cuba is that we have embraced a policy since 1959 with very little change over all of those years that is the exact opposite of embracing possibilities. It is stifling every possibility that some people might have for self-determination, for choosing their own destiny, for any of those things. And what's amazing when you're there is that no one will talk to you about that. They will talk about how they survive, how they figured this out, how, here's the tweaks that our government needs to make, here's the things that we need to do. No one will address this with you straight on. But we all know you don't stop every form of energy coming to a place for 3 or 4 months and then pretend like it's their fault that they can't do this or X, Y, or Z. And over again, it's been the same thing. And the only small little piece of difference was when Obama opened things up for maybe 2 or 3 years. But if you go back and look at why that happened, Obama wanted to have relationships with South America without having to go to war with them, which is a choice. Nice choice. I like that choice. But it was the countries of South America that said, we're not going to be in relationship with you unless you stop what you're doing to Cuba. So in order to have some normalized relations, Obama was almost forced to do this, which tells you, again, embracing possibilities. What is the reason? I mean, it should be the simplest thing for any of our elected officials, anyone who has any political power whatsoever, to say, no, we don't really want to try to destroy another place or make it as miserable as possible. I mean, why can't that, it should be a litmus test for us. Will you stop this? I mean, but it doesn't even get asked most of the time, and then it gets ignored. So I think it's one of these things, just like with all the other things that need to happen. We have to start ourselves not accepting people who don't embrace possibilities, who limit our possibilities to the thinnest, narrowest gap. Because that's over and over again, that's the people that we keep getting put in front of us to be our leaders. People whose idea of possibilities fits into this small little space. Because even our most, even the people that are the most progressive that we can possibly maybe vote for, still don't necessarily have an open heart for this issue. We are, the truth is that we are watching our country enter into a place where we will need the people of Cuba to teach us how to embrace possibilities for what's left of the social services, what's left of the food, what's left of the things available to us. Like, we're going to need them. How do you keep providing medical care for people in not only the most stellar way with hardly any resources, but you can send doctors all around the world? We will need them to help us. Because we're moving in that direction. We have to embrace the possibilities of seeing all the people of the world who want to care for each other and the earth as our friends, our allies, people we protect, people that we care for, people that we refuse to harm in our own circles, in our own nation, and around the world. Because we can see where it's getting us. This other way, embracing greed, embracing giving the most to the smallest group of people. This is not working. Well, it's working for them. It's not working for us. There's more I can say, but I know you get the point. You guys get the idea. A couple things I'll leave you with. They have an amazing drug that's working to cure Alzheimer's right now that they created in Cuba. People from Colorado are going down there to get this drug. They have a drug that they've developed that fights diabetes in a way that's beyond a lot of what we're using. They had their own COVID vaccines. What I'm saying is the possibilities of our relationship with people who people are telling us we should never have relationships with are something to be embraced. All right, we'll talk more some other time. I feel like, I'm definitely running out of time. But thank you all for listening, and thank you so much for giving to the people of Cuba, and thank you for, wherever you're at in this thing, but opening your hearts and your arms to embrace more and more possibilities around you. So, thank you. 160 something. Okay. 162. Sticking with me with these hymns I pick. That's good. I know that first one was, we'll try that one again sometime. I'm not good at it either, but I'm just saying. This reading I would like to give is by Jan Phillips. It's called At the Wake of the Old Way. We are attendants at the wake of the old way, and each of us, through our actions, our thoughts, our work, and relationships, is midwifing a new world into existence. And when we come to our days with this awareness, when we fully wake up to this tremendous privilege, when we sense the oak in the acorn of our beings, then we will have the energy to move mountains and to shift tides. With this as our courage, may we return to our lives, ready to make the real possibilities waiting for us come to be.
I'm Gregory Mason. Time for some announcements. The next deadline for paper raised right orders is next Sunday. If you don't have a form, you can see me. Next Sunday, the Religious Education Department will host an all-ages spring brunch after the service. Also, our Minister Emeritus, Reverend Dr. Tony Larson, will be leading our service next Sunday. The deadline to get announcements, news, and community events into the office for the May Unifier is April 25th. Save the date for the Stewardship Campaign Celebration Dinner on May 15th. More information to come. Craig Edwards, a former OBUUC member, passed away on April 4th. There is a link to his obituary in this morning's email. Our March Offertory Outreach recipient, Racine Friendship Clubhouse, received $1,102. Our March 5th Sunday collection for Black Lives of UUism received $396. If you need to reference the monthly Unifier email, there is a link in each Sunday's email that will take you to it. Be sure to check your monthly and weekly emails for more information on some of these announcements, along with community events and other news that are not announced here in church. Thank you to our volunteers today, our ushers, Christina Mondragon and Pamela Smiley, our coffee hour host, the 8th Principal Committee, our Zoom host, Melissa Warner, and our cell phone monitor, Greta Monroe. That's all for announcements. Please join us for coffee hour in Erman Hall. For those on YouTube, log into Zoom for your coffee hour. The link is in today's email.